Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Virtual Blended Conversations. I'm so glad to be here with you and hope you have been enjoying the series and getting to know the artists and as well as the art. I am your host, Eccentrich. Today, as like last month, we have a treat. So we had our first comedian last month, and this month we have our first actress, but more than an actress, she's a director, she's a poet, she's a writer, she's a professor, a teacher. I'll let her introduce herself a little bit more. Please welcome my guest today, Miss Rachel Finley. Hey, Rach.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, right now I am working on a project for Gable Stage. I received a grant from Gable Stage. They have Engage at Gable Stage, and it's a portion of my one-woman show, which is entitled America Burning. This particular portion is called American Bullet, and it deals with gun violence and America's obsession with gun violence. Um, and it's about a 15-minute segment that is going to appear on the Gable Stage website in August.
Oh, nice. It's um it's funny how COVID has led us to this virtual world of the arts, right? And so, working outside of here, I do some stage work as far as writing, not acting, myself, and just coming up and seeing how many things have gone virtual, have gone live. I've seen some stage readings myself and things like that. How have you adjusted to this new virtual world, and how has it affected theater, in your opinion?
I found it to be a lot easier of an adjustment than I expected. Um, and I think that's mainly because I do have a very diverse um, love for the arts in terms of what I like to do within theater. I do set design as well. I do, but which of course that has fallen away because we're not doing live shows. But because I'm also an actor, I'm also a director, I'm also a writer, I've found outlets for all of those things still available to me. So, there's the project that I just mentioned that I'm doing for Gable Stage. I directed something for New City Players that
Okay.
was written by Darius Daughtry, another local playwright and poet.
Yes.
And I acted in a show that was a series of 10-minute shows for Mad Cow Theater up in Orlando. I'm a dialect coach for a show out in Oakland, California, which would have been a much more difficult opportunity to find in a typical, our real world setting. But since they're doing everything via Zoom, it doesn't matter where I live. I'm still able to coach for them. Um, and so I've just been finding that I'm actually reaching out to some places that I normally wouldn't have had the opportunity to, that are further away, as a result of the fact that everything's online anyway. So we're all the same distance apart in a way. We're socially distant, but in a way we're all closer together because from here to, I was on a consult with someone in England just earlier this week. Whereas before they probably would have looked for someone who was closer to home. Now they have everyone available to them, and that includes me, and I am available to all of these people that I normally wouldn't have been available to.
Look at you thriving in COVID.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, you have to adjust to whatever the situation is. Yeah.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing, and it's great to hear the art still continuing. And I think the good thing about the arts is it's a necessary release from what is happening, work, COVID, kids being home, and to actually just enjoy stuff. I did a watch party with my first play, and it was just amazing having people tuned in. We had about 45 people. We were just talking, laughing through the play, talking about moments that resonated, and I found it to be very, very refreshing. So that's really, really dope to hear, and I'm glad that you're using this time to be in places that we normally couldn't be in, and that art is becoming available so worldwide. And like you said, bringing us all together. So I
Yeah.
think this is a perfect time to check out one of your monologues and see how incredible you are. I don't know if I've ever seen you act. I know you more as a poet. So I'm also very excited to see this performance. And I hope you out there enjoy it. And yeah, let's just get into it.
Then, bound with triumphant garlands, will I come and lead thy daughter to conqueror's bed, to whom I will retail my conquest won, and she shall be sole victoress. Caesar's Caesar.
What were I best to say? Her father's brother would be her lord? Or shall I say her uncle? Or he that slew her brothers and her uncles? Under what title shall I woo for thee, that God, the law, my honor, and her love can make seem pleasing to her tender years?
Infer fair England's peace by this alliance,
Which she shall purchase with still lasting war.
tell her the king that may command entreats,
That at her hands which the king's king forbids.
think she shall be a high and mighty queen.
To veil the title as her mother doth?
Nay, I will love her everlastingly,
But how long shall that title ever last?
sweetly enforce until her fair life's end,
But how long fairly shall her sweet life last?
as long as heaven and nature lengthens it.
As long as hell and Richard likes of it.
Nay, I, her sovereign, am her subject, lo.
But she, your subject, loathes such sovereignty.
Be eloquent in my behalf to her,
An honest tale speeds best being plainly told.
then plainly to her tell my loving tale.
Plain and not honest is too harsh a style.
Your reasons are too shallow and too quick.
Oh no, my reasons are too deep and dead. Too deep and dead, poor infants in their graves.
Not on that string, madam.
Harp on it shall I, till heartstrings break.
Now, by my George, my garter, and my crown,
Profaned, dishonored, and the third usurped.
I swear,
By nothing, for this is no oath. Thy George, profaned, hath lost his lordly honor. Thy garter, blemished, pawned his knightly virtue. Thy crown, usurped, disgraced his kingly glory. If something thou wouldst swear to be believed, swear then by something that thou hast not wronged.
and by myself,
Thyself is self-misused.
by the world,
'Tis full of thy foul wrongs.
my father's death.
Thy life hath it dishonored.
Why didn't it? By God!
God's wrong is most of all. If thou didst fear to break an oath with him, the unity the king my husband made, thou hadst not broken, nor my brothers died. If thou hadst feared to break an oath by him, the imperial medal circling now thy head had graced the tender temples of my child, and both the princes had been breathing here, which now two tender bedfellows for dust. Thy broken faith hath made the prey for worms. What canst thou swear by now?
The time to come.
That thou hast wronged in the time o'erpast. For I myself have many tears to wash, hereafter time, for time past wronged by thee. The children live, whose fathers thou hast slaughtered, ungoverned youth, to wail it in their age. The parents live, whose children thou hast butchered. Old, barren plants to wail it with their age. Swear not by time to come, for that thou hast misused, ere used, by times ill-used overpast.
All right, we are back. So we get to the point now, after we watch one of your performances, where we ask a question. And we usually have a jar. We don't have one, obviously, but I'm going to shake it up anyways. And I'm going to tell you to pick a number between 1 through 5 for me.
5.
5. All righty. So 5. tell me your favorite place of travel to date and why.
Okay, well, I've been a lot of places that I love, but I would have to say Long Beach, California, just because I felt like I was at home when I was there, and
Mm.
even though it's completely different than where I'm actually from, but I don't know if you've ever been to a place where it just feels like you belong the moment you arrive, but that's how I felt in Long Beach. There were so many wonderful vegan places to eat. There was just this very calm, sort of relaxed environment. Um, People who were from all different walks of life, all different types of people, but all still had this sort of heightened awareness, I felt like, of who they were and what their place was in the world, which is something I'm always striving for, that heightened awareness of who I am and what my place is in the world, and how I'm walking in the steps of what I'm supposed to be walking in. And I felt like that was very much in the air in that environment.
Wow, that's interesting because I think that's what, as much as we go away for vacation, we can miss those things that connect us to the places that we're at, even if it's just for 3 days or 5 days. I think I felt that way the first time I went to Charlotte.
Uh,
I just I just fell in love. I'm just like, this is really, really nice. I went out to, they have a really great like Black arts district there that people showed me around with. It was just a really good time, and my heart has been in Charlotte for a while. I actually was supposed to move to Charlotte, and my husband threw a monkey wrench in the plan, and he showed up, and I ended up
well,
staying, and
yeah,
here we are.
Pompano is lucky that you haven't left because you're definitely a very important part of the community here. Uh,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, I went to high school in Charlotte.
Okay.
I went to
I
Northwest
did not know
Yard.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I love that place. And so we'll see. Maybe that's the retirement spot. I'm not sure, but my work here is not done. So I'm glad that fate intervened and kept me here because I do love this city.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so I think my favorite place to travel though, I absolutely adore San Diego and Chicago. I can go to Chicago every year if possible. The food is incredible,
Huh.
and I love to eat. Places that are high on my travel list are places that I hear have good food.
I
So,
think that's for everyone. I mean, even when I talked about Long Beach, one of the first thing I mentioned was they had some great vegan.
yeah,
Right?
so that's
Yeah.
always good. Perfect. So tell me, you out there, what has been your favorite place to travel and why? What have you learned about yourself while you were there? What cultures did you connect to? This is what blended conversation is, people. It's bridging the gap with the arts and hearing your stories. As much as we are different, we are so much alike. So tell us, what was your favorite place to travel to, and chime in. Um, and then we're going to go ahead and go into a poem now. I wanted people to see your diversity, so we had a monologue, and now we'll go into a poem, which I'm sure is phenomenal and amazing. And I hope you guys enjoy this poem that is being brought to you. Please share your thoughts on it. Feel free to chime in, and feel free to write your own. Check it out.
Be magic, black girl. Be sugar and spice and sweet potato pie. Be cornbread and collard greens and baked macaroni and cheese. Be potato salad and gravy smothered in green beans. Be sweet grilled corn dripping with butter. Keep that body tight. Have a fat ass and a big heart. Stay fit and fine. Be magic, black girl. Be independent. Be assertive. Be the boss. Don't make yourself be single now. You gotta know how to let a man be a man. You don't always gotta run shit. Be magic, black girl. Make him feel like a king. Nurture his potential at your round, supple, perky teat. Stifle your own dreams. Don't let a man walk all over you. He can only do what you let him do. Choose better. Be magic, black girl. Be baby mama without the drama, even if he only pays child support when other people are watching, even if he never pays it at all. Don't be a man hater. Don't take him to court and garnish his wages. Do you know how hard things are for men? Be magic, Black girl. Be the sole provider. Be both mother and father to your child. Don't make excuses. Make magic. See, that's why Black women can't find husbands. The government pushed the Black man out of the house with welfare. He made it so Black women don't need Black men. Be magic, Black girl. Don't need anyone. Don't ask for help. It makes you look weak. Don't look weak. Why you always act so hard? How's a man gonna connect with you if you live inside a brick wall? Can no man find you if you're sitting at home? Be magic, Black girl. Be strong. Be patient. Be sweet. Be kind. Be sassy. Be sexy. Be hot. Be voluptuous. Be a freak in the sheets. Ride nice dick in your head. Priceless from the windows to the walls. Be a fantasy. Be a fetish. Be magic, Black girl. Don't get loud. Don't roll your eyes or your neck, only your hips. Don't suck your teeth. Don't purse your lips unless it's to kiss. Don't kiss too much. Don't be thought a slut. Oh, with your fat ass. Don't sigh too loud. Don't talk too white. Talk hood. No, not that hood. Don't talk too hood. Don't talk hood. Just don't talk too white. Just don't talk. Be magic, Black girl. Move in silence. Sit still and wait on God. Stand up and make something happen. Be greater than your circumstances. Don't forget where you came from. We all know where you came from and who you came with. Don't come too often, Black girl. Maybe just don't come at all. Put his needs first. Don't be a lesbian. You just haven't had the right man yet. Don't act oppressed. Remember, you are too blessed to be stressed. Remember, you are descendant from kings and queens, empresses and emperors, the cradle of civilization. We all know where you came from, nigger queen. Don't get uppity. Don't forget your place. Remember to be grateful for the crumbs. Remember your ancestors didn't have what you've got. Remember where you came from. Remember Jim Crow. Remember lynching. Remember you're on Section 8. Remember you're on food stamps. Remember my tax dollars pay your child's doctor's bills. Remember where you came from, Black bitch. Be magic, Black girl. Make peace with your enemy. Love thy neighbor as yourself. Turn the other cheek. Leave it all in God's hands. Praise God. Lift up his church. Be faithful to his servants. Never mind the time when you were 14 and pastor's hand found its way up your skirt at the Bible study retreat. Keep your faith, Black girl. Dance with the Holy Ghost, Black girl. Never mind the fact that your daughter is 14 and pastor invited her to the Bible study retreat. Be grateful, Black girl. She could be out there running them streets. You could be out there running them streets. Sing hallelujah, Black girl. Don't shout. Make a joyful noise. But no matter what you do, don't be angry. Be crazy. Don't be the angry Black woman. Don't be angry. Be magic. Be magic. Be everything. Be nothing. Be anything. Anything at all. But human.
All right. We are back. So who's seen spoken word before? Who's ever experienced it live? Do you write yourself? Share with me your thoughts and your feelings after seeing the poem. Rachel, we are back to our question jar. So you use number 5. So I need 1 through 4.
3.
3. Tell me your proudest moment as a mother.
Oh, wow. That's tough. I have 3 kids, so that's really tough because, you know.
Okay, so let me see. That's like 3 separate moments, right?
Yeah.
Tell me I guess so, to yourself. What was the moment that you was like, I have arrived. I am a mother. This is what I do. Type of thing.
Honestly, it's kind of funny because it was just bringing the second child home from the hospital and being like,
wow.
So, and saying the word the kids instead of just the one kid's name. Because it's like, oh, we just said the kids, like we're really parents now. You know,
it's official.
It's official. You know, when you have one kid, you still sort of feel like I'm me with this extra, you know, with this child. But once it gets to be more than one, it's like, oh no, I'm like a parent, you know?
It's legit.
It's real. Like there's no going back. I am a parent. You know, my sentence is over 18 years now. You know, so
that's funny. She's like, oh, just bringing the second one home. That was the moment I arrived.
That's it. I was a parent. That's it. You know, I feel like being a parent, you're always struggling to be better than you were the day before. You know, it's not. There's no perfect parent. There is no perfect parent. We all just
No,
try to do our best, and I think, especially as mothers, I can't speak as a father because I've never been one, but I know especially as mothers, we have a tendency to be really hard on ourselves. So I always feel like I'm not doing enough. I haven't done a good enough job. I need to work harder. Um, but I'm so lucky that my kids are doing well and thriving, and so I take that to mean I must have done something right. You know, so
uh-huh.
I'm appreciative of the children that I have been blessed with.
And how do you use the arts to help aid in motherhood? Is the arts a big part of your household for your kids?
It definitely is. I wouldn't know how to make it not be because that would mean distancing them from me because the arts are a big part of who I am. Um, so like my middle child, she has a similar interest to me in terms of theater. She's more interested in being into musical theater, although she does straight plays also. But she's also interested in performing. Um, and my oldest son played the guitar. He's now in the military. He's away for boot camp at Paris Island,
Oh,
becoming a
how
Marine.
you hanging in there? She's like, I'm gonna cry right now.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I miss him so much. Like I just went to the grocery store this morning, and he used to love going to the grocery store with me. So going to the grocery store, I want to cry down every aisle. I want to grab the
Oh,
shrimp because shrimp are his favorite, and he used to cook shrimp so well. I pass the shrimp, and I'm like, oh, he's not here. I guess I don't need to buy those. I know people around me are probably like, what is wrong with this masked woman crying?
no, it must be tough. It must be tough. What
Yeah.
branch did he decide to go into?
The Marines.
Awesome. My brother was a Marine from 18 to 33.
Okay, so my son keeps telling me once a Marine, always a Marine. So your brother is a Marine, I think,
He
right?
ah he
Yeah.
is. In fact, he is because his mannerisms are still very much uh, laced in the service. My 10-year-old, he expressed his wanting to go to the Air Force, but particularly to be a chef, which is very interesting. I'm like, all right, that's really specific, but
Yeah.
they got technical high schools where he can graduate with culinary certificates and stuff like that. So, but he's 10, we'll see if he
Yeah.
hangs in there.
No,
It changes.
my son and I were fighting about it from the time he was 13 because I didn't want him to do the military. Just I was scared. I still am.
Yeah,
You know, it's a
absolutely.
scary thing, and I miss
Absolutely.
him. You know, if he was in college, I could call him. You know, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm using the arts. My kids like beat making. Like the 13-year-old has been into beats since he was like 3. Um, they do their rap thing, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
By the way, Wild and Out makes them think they
Hey,
can
they
rap.
can do it. They can do it. They can do
This
it.
this is
You
this
have to
this
develop
is
the
me
skill.
at the door when they're in the room with their door closed. This is me eavesdropping.
Hmm. You know,
But
they want to do it. They can develop the skill. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
But my
that's
so I
interesting.
mentioned the two oldest, but the youngest one, he's mostly just a fan of the arts. He loves going to shows. He'll sit in rehearsals for shows he's not in, and he loves being at rehearsal. Like he just loves it.
Awesome.
So he's more of a fan at this point, but he's only 9, so who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. So I think you have 3. I have 3. I have twins on the way,
Mm,
and I think the twins. I knew I was a mom, and so this is my second, marriage. So my older kids were I'm starting over,
mhm.
and let me tell you something. Carrying these 2 humans is like, yeah, I'm a mom. I'm like a warrior. I'm like a superhero because if the twins would have came before, it would have been no other pregnancies.
Right.
There would be no more children. So share with us again, you guys. Chime into this conversation, not just mothers, but fathers and parental figures and mentors and godparents. When did you arrive? When did you know that this was a role that you were going to have your entire life? And if you're an artist or you're not an artist, but you enjoy the arts, how do you use that to spend time with your family or to become? right? Who you are. With that being said, we're going to go into our last performance, which is going to be another monologue. And please enjoy for the moment. And when we get back, we'll have one more question, and then we'll get some final thoughts. How's that sound? Awesome. So here you go. Enjoy.
And so, you thought, if you couldn't be a hero that way, you'd find yourself another. Why do people always think some grand gesture is how we save the world? I know the big sacrifice looks romantic, but don't you think we might be better off if the sort of person who would donate his life would stick around? To lobby for green policies and better public transit, and even to lower the bloody thermostat because heating efficiency represents a potential 9 billion tons in carbon savings for the planet. Thank you very much.
No! I can see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to save my life by making me fall in love with you.
What? No, that's... Even if I thought you were charming, you are clearly unhinged.
Charming? You think I'm... shameless? Here I am, set to give my life for the planet, and you come along with your blandishments of incremental change and the mobility of thermostats. I will not be swayed by some siren office manager. I'm going to Greenpeace.
No, you can't. I won't let you. I accept your donation.
But I haven't made it yet.
Yes. Yes, you have. You came to donate your life, and I've accepted it. And now you have to do what I say. And I say you have to do the work. To come back on Monday and apply for a canvassing job, to eat vegetarian and ride buses and go to protest, and to live.
But there's still all of it. Melting ice caps and climate change deniers and the old men killing people for greed. Still those 900 tons. How am I supposed to carry that?
The same way we all do. As best you can. One day after another. Come on. Life's not so bad if you squint at it just right. Let's go get you that cup of tea.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that. We have time for one more question here. So what was the last number, 3?
Yeah.
All right. So give me 1, 2, or 4.
1. I'm always going to pick the odd numbers because I'm odd.
This was the plan the whole time. Who knew? All right. So as an artist, we often get asked what's our favorite work we've created. What work of someone else moved you the most?
Oh, wow.
These questions are always so candid because you guys have no idea what I'm going to ask. They have no idea what's coming. So
that is so hard because, I mean, one of the reasons why I became an artist is because I am so moved by art. Oh, gee. What art moved me the most?
It will be breaking it down into past, present, recent help.
Let's see. I don't know, cause girl, that's a question. Geez, I'm honestly I can't name just one work because I think also my relationship to other works makes some works move me. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
there's a relationship between the various art forms and the various works of art that I see, and those relationships are part of why the art moves me. That's why when someone goes to see a play and they're like, "Oh, really wasn't that into it." I'm like, oh, go see more plays, because the more plays you see, the more you will be moved by plays,
mm,
because they have a tendency to allude to each other or to have relationships to each other. You'll start to create those relationships in your mind, and that's what makes it really move you. Like I
mm.
saw Hamilton, and they're like, I don't get it. There was a lot of stuff I didn't understand. If they don't have exposure to hip hop, if they don't have exposure to other musicals, then there's things that they're going to miss. You know, like that whole
Mm.
I'm the model of a modern day major general. You know, that whole thing. That's from another musical. You know, when she says "screw your courage to the sticking place," that's an allusion to a play which I will not say because I'm an actor and we're not supposed to say the name of that play. But but look it up. um, you know, so and then you know with it's such a it makes me wonder sometimes how, you know, like if you're
Yeah.
not familiar with hip hop, you didn't get that reference. So I feel like what moves me most in art is the relationships, the way that different artists are interwoven, and the
Mm.
way that that interweaving of different artists captures the zeitgeist of a time, you know, really captures what it is that was true in that moment, what it is that has been true since the beginning of time, and what it is that will be true, you know, far into the future. Even if, God forbid, the human race did not continue to exist, there are things that would still be true. And I feel like that art captures that, and that's what moves me about art.
Listen to you. I think what stood out to me the most was other pieces of art building that relationship, thus creating the experience. And for you out there who's listening, who may not have been to a play yet, who may not have seen a spoken word slam, who may not have visited a gallery, I think when you do that for the first time, the only things you have to connect it to is your experiences, the things you've been through. And I think for art, that's how so many people can see the same work, can hear the same work, and walk away with something completely different, because our experiences or relationships shape what we see, hear, feel, and even smell sometimes. So, you know, it's, I thought that was a great point that you made. And I think it's important for people who are not artists or who may be watching this to know that you can still share that experience, even maybe while watching Blended, or you join us another time for montage, or you see a virtual exhibit. You've never been in a museum, but they have so many virtual exhibits now. It could be your first trip into the museum at home, and just realizing why a certain piece of art affects you the way it does is the first part of appreciating what the arts bring to us, that we so often miss without it, that we don't realize we're missing. Which is why when it's the first thing cut in funding, in my mind, I'm thinking we're missing so much of what makes us human, makes us connected, makes us realize our differences are not all that different. Anger is anger, joy is joy, happy is happy, and you just use these different mediums to bridge those experiences. So I appreciate you saying that.
I think it's also, you know, along the lines of what you were saying, when it comes to the arts, what people don't realize is that um, thinking about art and interpreting art actually is useful to the human brain. It helps our brains to stay strong and capable of doing more. So even if you're someone who thinks that nothing is important outside of math and science, which there are people who think that way, your brain is more capable of understanding math and science and all of those things because of its relationship to the arts. When you have a mind that has had to interpret and look at a painting from several different directions, has had to interpret and look at a play from several different directions, you're going to be a better reader, you're going to be better at science, you're going to be better at math. So the arts have an impact on our brain's overall health, which makes us better at everything else that we do.
Absolutely. It was such a pleasure sitting down and chatting with you for a moment. Any final words for our viewers?
Thanks for tuning in. Please check out Engage at Gable Stage. My show, American Bullet, will be on there. It's a little bit of an abstract show, but it's very visceral, and I think it will be very worthwhile for people to check out. And I would love to get feedback on your thoughts and feelings about it. Even if you don't like it, you can still send me a message. Also, check out my website. RachelFinleyArts.com, and you can contact me through there. There's a contact me on there, and it tells you about all the things that I do and upcoming events.
And your social media links are on RachelFinleyArts.com as well?
They are, and you can follow me at Rachel Finley Arts on all social media, or at Flow Diva Flow is also another one.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. Continue doing what you're doing. You are incredible at it. We really, really enjoyed your direction when we presented the stage reading of For Colored Girls. Maybe that's a sneak peek. We can sneak in here. I'm not sure. But you did a phenomenal job directing that for us. And I've been a fan of your theater. I went from being a fan of your poetry to being a fan of your theater work. And that instinct, you did such a phenomenal job. So again, thank you for answering my call and for being a blended conversation. And for you out there, we'll see you next month as we wrap up actually, I think this is the last of the season. So we'll see you next season. Blended is a summer series that runs June through September. I hope you enjoyed it. Please reference our Facebook pages if you want to see any past videos, or if you have any ideas or comments or suggestions on how to make it better, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you for joining us for Blended Conversation. I'm Eccentrich, and we'll see you in 2021.